program.
Stupid idiot didn't even know how to add himself to the stream. Duh. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Blitz Transmissions. Hello there. I'm Tommy, and you know what time it is. It's the last Sunday of the month, so that means it's time for our monthly Blitz Barracks live stream. Every last Sunday of the month, we do a live stream here on the Blitz Transmissions YouTube channel, and I try to come up with some sort of discussion topic or some sort of overarching. When this started, it was kind of like a, Star Wars month in review. I kind of got bored of that topic, to be honest with you, and I was like, let's just do different discussion topics. Let's do, different ideas, maybe wish lists, things like that. So I figured we got a cool topic this month. I came up with something like at 2 a.m. last night when I should have definitely been sleeping and getting ready to come to work early in the morning this morning. But instead, I was up and making thumbnails for streams. So it's pretty much what I've got for you. So we got a discussion, and of course, if you guys want to bring up any topics from San Diego Comic-Con, we could bring that up as well. So let's talk some Star Wars, shall we? But before we do that, I want to just plug, of course, if you're new and you're for some reason not subscribe to Blitz Transmissions, because I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. In addition to that, you could also check out all my social media, my Patreon, my channel membership. Everything is linked in the description below if you want to become a part of the Rancor Battalion channel membership, and you can get some exclusive emojis. That's just 99 cents a month. I got my Patreon, my merch, like this Blitz Transmissions trucker hat I have on right now, and other cool stuff as well. So everyone, how are we doing? Let's see who's in the chat to kick things off here. We got the Max Rebo Experience. Now, if you see that little icon next to Max's name, that means he is a Rancor Battalion channel member, and it also means he's a super cool guy because he's also an ARC Trooper in the Blitz Transmissions Patreon. We've also got Movie Toy Tuber 8090, another channel member. Love to see it. We got Dr. Jones. Welcome in. Thanks for sharing on your Instagram story earlier, the stream. I did catch that. And we've also got... All right, who do we got in here? Bly, can you get rid of Darth Moocher, please? I hate that guy. I'm going to debate that guy tomorrow. But we also got Bly. He's first. If you thought you were first, Bly was actually first. We got Liam in here. What's good? We could discuss this as well later on in the stream. What's the next step for Black Series? We got Howl Runner Base with that eye for detail. He's putting the eye in How I Runner lately, hasn't he been? He spotted with his eagle eye something that he shared in the Blitz Transmissions Discord. A tease was made for an upcoming vintage collection Battle of Geonosis figure that hasn't even been revealed yet. So, super exciting. We got the GOAT, Mr. Star Wars 1138. We got James Morrow. Both those guys are also Rancor Battalion channel members. Wait, the battle is over? Don't tell me those stinking Jedi won. What a bunch of elitist a-holes. Also, I don't know why my allergies are bothering me so much today, so bear with me. My runny nose bugging me today. We also got Night Rex 92. Wish TVC had more Maul Shadow Lord figures. I think... Give it some time. We'll see if they're able to catch up with Black Series here. We got Scott, what's up? Coming in from Texas. How we doing? The GOAT, Beb Art. What's up, Bebby? Thanks for joining in. We got Bounty Brews in here as well. Awful Risk Vader. John Graber Space Jockey. Thanks, bro. I don't even know what that means. And we got the GOAT, Raul, in the chat as well. So, everybody, if your nose is running, you better go catch it. Not the Kenner Colors X-Wing. I'm happy with SDCC. Some have some nitpicks, but I'm happy with the offerings. Guys, we will be definitely discussing the good, the bad, and the ugly of SDCC, but I also want to give a shout out to the Sarlacc Digest podcast, because you definitely need to make sure you head over to their YouTube channel for our weekly Toy Chest live show. It'll be going on tomorrow night on Monday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Get ready for it. We're going to be really breaking down, doing a deep breakdown on the reveals from San Diego Comic-Con for Vintage Collection, Black Series, even the tease they gave for the Retro Collection. And on top of that, too, we're also going to be breaking down the fan reaction, because I think I think we're in a very pivotal moment in the Star Wars action figure world right now. I think that what at face value may seem quite bleak and quite grim may actually be something different. Maybe if we peel back the curtain a little bit, we could view this a little bit differently. We need a Latin Kenner colors. I'd probably cave and buy that. I wish I was getting a reveal. That would be super cool if I got a reveal, but I don't think I'm notable enough to do something like that. But also, James Moore, I'm seeing a little chatter about HasLab support figures, maybe 5 different 3-packs. Anyone seeing the same thing? That is a thing, and we will talk about that. We will talk about all of those awesome things. Yeah. Overall, did I lag there? My screen lagged. See if that came across on the stream. Yeah, okay, we're good. Overall, I was very happy with both TVC and Black Series reveals, except for a few. I think that's how most people feel. And Bebart, thank you, Goat. Thank you, Bebby, for becoming a Rancor Battalion channel member. 99 cents a month. It gives you access to exclusive badges, priority replies in the comments section. You get to check out exclusive emojis that were designed by Great White North Empire. So, all right. And also we got Eric Coates. If I revealed Black Series Lobot, that would be the hardest thing for me to be excited about ever. Tommy gets Lobot reveal. Mooch. All right. So I kind of want to just jump in right into the big topic. So obviously, guys, it's Sunday. It is the last day of San Diego Comic-Con 2026. And it has been an emotional roller coaster for Hasbro Star Wars fans. Whether you collect Black Series or the Vintage Collection alike, there was some good, there was some bad, and there was some ugly from both lines. Tommy needs the Dirge reveal. I would be floored if I had the monumental opportunity to do Dirge. Yeah, that would be awesome. It is pay to win here. It is pay to win, absolutely. Yeah, but obviously, you guys know me. If you've been paying any attention to the Blitz Transmissions YouTube channel for the last almost year, a big focus on this channel has been the jump that I've made from just being a predominantly Black Series channel with some Hot Toys sprinkled in to really, really diving deep into not just the action figure line, but also the really passionate, one-of-a-kind community that comes with the Vintage Collection line. That I would say honestly that the community has really elevated my enjoyment of this line, and there's been a lot of chatter and a lot of discussion going on with particularly the Vintage Collection reveals from San Diego Comic-Con throughout the weekend, going back all the way to I think this past Wednesday. But the thing obviously is, the reason that we got so into the Vintage Collection here is because Raul's right on the money here with the lat hat emojis. It's because of the Republic Gunship HasLab that came out, I guess got revealed just about a year ago now. And it kind of set me on this new trajectory. It completely changed my collecting habits. It's something that I've never been so excited about. I really want to say I don't think I've ever been so excited for a Star Wars action figure reveal ever. I don't think anything comes close to the Republic Gunship HasLab. Yeah, pretty much. And ever since then, now I just buy all kinds of figures. I mean, right here I got Dark Times Vader sitting right in front of my computer right now. Here's Dark Times Vader. What's another one? Right now, actually, I opened up 4 of them just now. I'm leaving one sealed because I might do a review on it in the coming weeks. We'll see how time plays out. But I opened up a bunch of the new droid build-up packs here, and I'm in love with these super battle droids here, man. I'm going to get a ton of these to amass to fight my army of clone troopers when the Republic gunships land in my collection. But it really opened my eyes to the advantages that the Vintage Collection has over the Black Series, okay? Because before, it's really funny because me a year ago, half the things that I say very regularly now on this channel, I wouldn't have ever seen myself saying, and I probably would have staunchly disagreed with even. It's because I was collecting just the Black Series, and because of that, I lacked perspective. And when you are able to collect both lines, and when you can understand both communities for each line, it really opens up your perspective and shows you that there are, in fact, advantages and disadvantages to each line. And I can't say that one is definitively better than the other. I would say that it depends completely on what kind of a collection you want to build for yourself. And that's why I champion both the Black Series and the Vintage Collection. That said, between you and me, I've been a lot more interested in the Vintage Collection as of late. But obviously a big thing with that, I was super excited that it wasn't just the Republic gunship coming out. It was also the campaign, the program that accompanied the Republic gunship for 2026, and that was what Hasbro dubbed the Battle of Geonosis. And in the beginning, when the name was first announced, I saw the big graphic for it, and it had all this really cool, the actual battle that takes place. We have the ATTEs and the Hailfire droids in the back and everything like that. It was one of those where, as I dove into it, the ideas started generating. And for me, Star Wars is so much more than just 3 movies or 6 movies or 9 movies. Honestly, the biggest thing that I'm interested in with Star Wars is the animation. And that's really what I grew up with most, whether it was the 2003 Clone Wars micro series or the 2008 Clone Wars show, even a little bit Star Wars Rebels. My little brother grew up more with that, but I remember he and I would watch the episodes as they were coming out on Disney XD. And I think that the animation has such broader storytelling opportunities. And so in the beginning, I remember we did a Back the Lat marathon stream in August of last year, I want to say. And it was a 6-hour live stream that we did. And a big part of it was a wish list of things that we would like to see for the Battle of Geonosis program. And a lot of my picks came from the second Battle of Geonosis, which takes place in Season 2 of the Clone Wars. And it's seriously one of the best battles in the entire show. It's one of those that you could seriously just jump right into that 4-episode arc, and it introduces you to new characters. You get to check out characters that are straight from the prequel trilogy, and I really like that set of episodes. And so a lot of my wants came from that set of 4 episodes. And so when they started to unveil different reveals throughout the year this year, I really started to notice that a lot of the reveals were very focused on one particular moment. And I will say that is something that I now actually critique the themes for with the Vintage Collection, because they did return to Tatooine in 2025, and then for 2026 they just concluded with San Diego Comic-Con. They said they made their last reveals for the year for the Battle of Geonosis, and I think for me this is one of those themes where it's too narrow. You know what I mean? It's one of those where it's when you narrow yourself down to just one moment, it becomes one of those that, while you can really flesh out that particular scene, I think you limit yourself on the ideas that you can generate, right? And I think that rather than just going with one moment, what you can do with the broader storytelling is give yourself the opportunity to be more creative and maybe tell parts of multiple stories at the same time. There's an entire show, a 7-season show. There's an entire era that comes with the Republic gunship. So I think that looking at it more broadly, there's a lot more they can do going forward. And I think really leaning into the theme of what the HasLab is, you know what I mean? I think there's more that you can do with that. But let me get an image pulled up here, because I did actually pull up. So, for reference, the whole thing closed, right? Okay. Renoaz, you're banned. You're banned. I'm not talking about just clone troopers. There's actually plenty of separatists and Jedi and Sith, and with the Clone Wars era that you can do. Exactly, and Bly brings up a great point too. There are gunships everywhere in Star Wars. So let me pull up. Mr. Stevie actually did a poster to kind of finish off the theme for Battle of Geonosis, right? And so it's a character poster. He did one for Return to Tatooine. We'd been really, wanting to see what they would do for the Battle of Geonosis theme. And I'm sorry, for some reason I can't get this pulled up here. There we go. So I downloaded it from Mr. Stevie's website. So what we will do is share the screen. Let's take a look here. Window, image, and share. All right, there we go. Check this out. So here we have the image from Mr. Stevie's website. This is the big poster, right? So let me do this here. This is the big poster for the Battle of Geonosis, campaign. So here we have the gunship up here. You got your clones. You got your Geonosians on the side. You got your newest figures, some of your newest reveals like Anakin. We have our Geonosis Arena specific Padme. We have our Obi-Wan. And then the other members of that wave. I don't see the battle... Oh, here's Battle Droid Commander over here. And then some of the single-packed Super Battle Droids. So they said they're finished with the theme for 2026. That's pretty much what it is. They're finished with the Battle of Geonosis theme. That doesn't mean that they're going to that doesn't mean they're going to continue, not continue with it in the future, but it does mean that they're going to just conclude the story that they were trying to tell for the year. And I think if you weren't so familiar with how the Vintage Collection works, you might have gotten caught up in feelings of being underwhelmed with how this theme goes, you know what I mean? Because I remember a lot of people felt similarly for the Battle of Geonosis, right? Or for the Return to Tatooine. A lot of people expected a lot more. And honestly, I feel like with that one too, there was a lot more they could have done. But it's also difficult because let me figure out how to say this. It's also difficult because there's no good way to get a lot of those characters out, because particularly with the Return to Tatooine theme, a lot of those characters are very niche, C-list, D-list background characters. The only people that you're really pulling in to buy those kinds of characters are figures that are for established collectors, right? Things that people that are already collecting would want. Give me 1 second here. All right. All right. So now, looking at the poster here, who was asking about some of the... All right, Star Wars and Brews. I got to know where you're at, because I saw you in some comment sections over the last couple days, and I was like, dude, what's going on, man? Because I thought you would be really excited for Rot of the Hutt, and it seems like I feel like you kind of got overwhelmed by feeling underwhelmed by other reveals. You know what I mean? But yeah, so apparently they had this poster at the actual Hasbro Star Wars booth. But dude, so I guess I was gonna wait to talk about this until later. What are you not happy about? What about this set of reveals from San Diego Comic-Con had you so overwhelmed with negative feelings? I guess that would be the best way to go about it. What do you think? Let me know how you guys are feeling on this stuff. Because I'm really interested to hear, because I've been hearing such polarizing thoughts on this kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe he's not talking anymore. Anyway, so this is the final poster. And honestly, I gotta say, for what it is, other than like named characters, like your more niche characters like Boltar Swan, or what is his name, Seer Furch or something like that. But let's see. Yeah, we got Renoaz. He liked the reveals. We got Moocher in here saying some good, some eh. I'm kind of waiting to hear what some of you other guys have to say. But let's see. But yeah, otherwise, I feel like at first, maybe even a couple weeks ago, I was calling this the skirmish of Geonosis more than I was the battle of Geonosis, right? Hey, Star Wars Collective, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Welcome in. Yeah, I thought it was great. I really did. Need the arena. I don't foresee them ever doing that. But I gotta say, for me, I think that this was good for the battle. For me, TVC is more army building, TVC is more scene building. It's not so much about the squabble of Geonosis. I called it the skirmish of Geonosis. I've been calling that on Sarlacc Digest Toy Chest recently. But I feel like with this theme, it's one of those where I don't know. I feel like I was more excited about the army builders, right? And that was what I was looking for. And maybe that's just not what you guys are looking for as collectors. You know what I mean? So I saw, where did he go? Star Wars and Brews. Rada and Queen Amidala were the only WoW yes for you? Wow. Okay. Good to know. Let's see what else we got going on here. I saw Star Wars and Brews drop a message. Now I can't find it. No OT, other than the slap in the face X-Wing. Mishandled Embo, too little for the HasLab campaigns, and there's more. I look at my shelves, and there are some big holes that are annoying. Well, and this is kind of the other thing here. I mean, what is the difference? I guess this is where I have to ask, like, what's realistic for them to reveal and drop all at once, and or should they be taking turns? Because I'm going to be honest, I feel like themed waves are more exciting to me as a collector. And this is where we start to get into, our subjective differences and how we might feel differently with these kinds of things. Because for me, again, like I said, Vintage Collection is much more about army building. Vintage Collection for me is what I can't do with the Black Series. You know what I mean? Vintage Collection for me is, I can get a lot more characters with a lot less space. I can have I have this shelf here that's like 75 clone troopers. You can have a lot more clone troopers on a shelf in the Vintage Collection, and it costs significantly less than getting that many Black Series troopers. And additionally with the vehicles too, there's so much more you can do with the display with the vehicles and the diorama building and the different things you can do, as opposed to with Black Series. It's like the scale prohibits certain things at certain scales, and the Republic gunship, an X-wing, a Naboo starfighter, there's so much more you can do with that smaller scale that you just can't get away with in the 6-inch scale. You know what I mean? We got Raul, shout out for the super chat there, man, with 27 4-packs. Yes, 27 4-packs indeed. There's no such thing as subjectivity. It's not precisely what I want. It's wrong. With 2 Star Wars shows coming out in the same year, you had to know most of the figures would go to those properties. That I agree with that too, to Renoaz's point. I think that's a fair point to bring up as well. There is no way that the Star Wars releases that come out are always going to satisfy you subjectively as a collector. That's something that I really want to talk about on Sarlacc Toy Chest tomorrow. And I know that we're going to have that conversation a lot more in depth. Tommy, let the people decide on the space and storage of the Black Series scale. Hey, I have a couple right here. I just opened these guys yesterday. Check it out. Got my hard case and Dogma 2-pack. Check it out. But yeah, so anyway, the can't wait to see. Yeah, dude, there's different things you can do with the different scales. And that's what I liked about the Battle of Geonosis. Obviously, I would have preferred if they leaned heavier into the Clone Wars, but for what they were building, I think they did a pretty decent job. I just have one problem. Why is Coleman Trevor not lying dead in the middle of the battlefield here? Why is he alive? Because he never lived to even know that Peak existed. That's and that's kind of where that's kind of my point. That's my take home point here, and I think that's going to be my overall theme after this weekend of Star Wars reveals. There was stuff for Vintage Collection and for Black Series that completely blew me away, and in a not a good way, right? And there was also stuff that really, there were things that really annoyed me about some releases. But there were a lot of other releases that were good, you know? And okay, so Star Wars and Bruce, to your point, Shadow Lord figures are awesome, but do I need all of the Shadow Lord before we get a Death Star Gunner, a Max Rebo Reese? And this is where I'm going to say something that maybe some older fans might not like, but this is my honest opinion, and this is just my perspective as somebody who's younger, somebody who grew up with the prequel generation. I don't have the attachment to these Glup Shittos that a lot of original trilogy fans do. Those characters are not what's going to get me into the collecting line. Those are not characters that I'm going to pick up. Those are not characters that I'm going to be excited about. And that's just my subjective feeling. But one thing that I really wanted to point out is Steve Evans is constantly talking about on his Sunday live streams that we need to grow the collecting hobby. And it's always this question of, how do we grow the collecting hobby? Well, I'll tell you how. It's going to be by bringing in the younger generation. It's by bringing in new ideas, and this is true. Bebart, I said this on my channel before. Clone Troopers are the Glup Shittos of Jabba Denizen enjoyers. Like this, it correlates the same way. Repainted clones are, for me, the obscure repainted clones that show up for like 0.2 seconds or never have a speaking line and show up for one episode, are the same as Glup Shittos for you. In, you know, whether it be Cantina patrons or Jabba Denizens, you name it. And that's where I'm like, this is where it's important to have an understanding. Like, there's still 2027. There's still more coming. They have to spread this stuff out. And unfortunately, these things take time. You know, thankfully, because we have fan polls like Black Series Most Wanted, we do have the opportunity to get things like I have 4, but they're cool, and each one is an individual character, you know. And this is my other thing here. That's my critique on the Kenner X-Wing. It's like, that to me was a miss, you know. This I agree with this point, but this is more a Lucasfilm issue than it is a Hasbro issue at this point. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what else you guys are going crazy in the chat right now. This is awesome. I think the TVC negativity is due to a whole wave was repacks and retools. And like, I get it, but I guess let me also offer some perspective on that too, because let's see. Brother, I don't think you want to go to 2028, because 2028 is the Clone Wars 20th anniversary and the 03 Clone Wars 25th, which means more clones. But I have to say that's why the fan polls are nice, to finish my point from earlier. That's why the fan polls are nice. The fan polls give you the opportunity to give Hasbro an idea of what people want to buy. Ultimately, let's be realistic. The Cantina patrons and the Glups and things like that, they are very low on the totem pole in how recognizable they are and how well they're going to sell. And that's just through market research from the last 2 decades of Hasbro Star Wars. I'm not saying these figures shouldn't be made. I'm not saying they shouldn't be put out. I'm not saying that time and energy and budget shouldn't be put into these characters. But what I am saying is that it's just one of those that I think we need to start looking ahead. I think it needs to. For 50 years now, we've been looking at the same 3 movies and the same set of characters over and over and over again, and that isn't what's going to grow the hobby. That's not what's going to bring new people in, because I could speak for myself, I could speak for my dad, I could speak for plenty of my friends, none of whom heavily collected the vintage collection before the Republic Gunship HasLab. And then that HasLab came out, and it's what brought us into the line. My dad, who had been out of collecting for like 15 years, got back into Star Wars collecting because of the HasLab gunship. It was something new, it was something fresh, and to be honest, it was definitely a risk in comparison to previous HasLabs that came before it. And so I think they should be leaning into this stuff more. I don't think they should forget about the legacy media and about things like that, but I do think that if I have the choice between what we got revealed, that to me is much more likely to bring in new collectors and get people curious about the vintage collection specifically than original trilogy characters. Death Star Gunner is cool. I would buy Death Star Gunner. Lobot won Black Series Most Wanted. I would buy Lobot to support that fan poll that I ran. That it's things like that. I'm buying them. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I have no idea what you're talking about there. And Kurt as well. The lat brought me back. It's something that you keep seeing more and more of. And I have plenty of friends too. Even it's a slap in the face to collectors. It's that line. It's that super. I think you're attaching too much emotion to this stuff, and this is where I've been seeing huge pages. We saw that post from Yakface yesterday, was it? Where he made that post with the black square, and he was like, I'm frustrated, and it's Hasbro's fault, and I need to, I'm seriously disappointed. And I sit there and I'm like, we've been doing this for so long. There it is. Evan's another one. The lap brought him in. Maybe you should question if this, maybe you should be questioning if it's not making you happy anymore, if you can't just be okay with some reveals coming out not being what you personally wanted. I do that all the time. Do you think I was excited when I saw them revealing Knights of the Old Republic figures this year for Black Series? No, I don't care at all about Knights of the Old Republic. I don't care at all about that media. But I know that there's people that want that, and I know that there's people who have been very vocal about that. I'll use the example of my friends SithLord229, Daniel East 1000, and RoboQuiff Collects on the Toy Talkin' live chat. They have been so vocal about wanting those characters. And so, yeah, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that's a bad reveal, and just because it's not my thing, it's not my cup of tea, that's not going to take me out of the hobby, because this is, I guess, my bottom line here. Why should you let this company that's not, just because they're not revealing things that you want, why should you let that take away all your enjoyment of this entire hobby? You have all this, most of us have entire rooms of collections. Just because a reveal's not for you, it's impossible. It's never going to all be for you. I can sit here, and I think that the majority of vintage collection collectors agree that the Kenner painted X-Wing isn't a good idea. I don't think that that's something that belongs in vintage collection. That's my opinion. That's my take. But I'm going to be honest. I've seen entire comment sections that draw in a different kind of collector, where a bunch of people in the comment sections are saying that they're going to buy that Kenner X-Wing. So I can't say that nobody wants it. It's not fair for me to say that, just because I think it's a horrible reveal. That's just my opinion. That's my take. And that's not... Let me see. To be fair, it's hard to think straight right after you've been slapped in the face as a collector. But this is my other thing. So this was the other thing I was going to bring up. And this is something that I've been talking about with Darth Moocher. I don't know if he's still in the chat. But something I've been talking about with him is that I think we need to start spotlighting third party a little bit more. Like if you feel like Hasbro isn't doing it for you, if you feel like Hot Toys isn't doing it for you, it's time to either do. Of course he's here. All right, Bly. Now you can ban him. It's one of two things. The majority of the time, it's either you need to pivot and analyze and assess your collecting habits and see if there's something you need to change in order to make yourself enjoy your collection more, or, as Moocher says, where Hasbro won't, third party will. I'm talking 3D printers. I'm talking people that make custom soft goods. I'm talking about people that do custom paint and create figures. Beb Art literally creates works of art. They're mostly clone troopers, but he does other stuff as well. He customizes aliens. He customizes all kinds of stuff. You know, there are knockoffs. I personally am not a fan of the knockoffs, but that's another thing that a lot of people do. There are other avenues and other ways to enjoy this hobby without having to be so fired up about what gets revealed, whether or not you personally want it. And that's, again, why the fan polls are so great, because the fan polls give a good idea of what a large group of people want. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Why can't we tell Hasbro what collectors and fans want, like in movie themes? Maybe voting. Well, that would require legwork on Hasbro, because unfortunately, the thing there is the Hasbro is like 2 years ahead. When they're planning characters, like they're already planning 2028. We're not even in 2027 yet. They've already met with Lucasfilm and planned the first half of 2028. And they're getting ready to plan the second half. So there's a long time that goes between this stuff. So that was what I was getting at earlier. Like, yes, my Hasbro Pulse purchase is shipping soon. What's shipping soon? Is it my HasLab? Dude, I would lose my mind. What is this? Hasbro Pulse purchase is shipping soon. I don't know what order this is talking about. Let's take a gander. Dude, what if it was my gunship? That would be absolutely crazy. I don't think it's the gunship, though. I'm getting multiple things here. What's this? Let's take a look. If it'll ever load. I'd love for it to load. Oh, okay, so that's not cool. So apparently the Clone 4-packs are getting ready to ship, and those weren't supposed to ship until November. So why is it now saying August 1st? Okay, that's pretty crazy, actually. So there's some impromptu news that 3 months before they were supposed to ship, the Clone Trooper 4-packs are getting ready to ship. That's kind of, I'm not going to lie, that's kind of annoying, actually. Like, those literally, I was looking at it, those weren't supposed to ship till November 1st. And here we are, it's August. They're saying they're going to tell me now, shipping August 1st. Are you kidding me? So, okay, that's a thing. But, all right. No, I did not get lucky, because I ordered a lot of them. But, yeah, I'm going to have to sell off the wedding ring already, right? Ooh, okay, well, I'll keep a lookout for that, because my worry is that means those will be shipping out next month. Anyway, I hope a lot of what I said makes sense, and I know that it's difficult to hear these kinds of things. I know that it can be frustrating. Okay, you want to talk about something that's actually frustrating? That. Because I thought that these weren't shipping till November. Why are you now getting ready to ship them 3 months early? 3 months? Are you kidding me? 3 months early we're about to ship these? Dude. Yeah, and this is the truth. This is the truth. You can't please everyone. And that's just the cold, hard truth about collecting. You cannot please everybody. But yeah, clone pack shipping. Live on stream. I guess I'd better move some money around, because I ordered a lot of clones. But yeah, I don't know. That is a frustration for me, and I think that's something that Hasbro needs to. I think they need to stick a little more closely to their pre-order dates. I think if you set a pre-order date Wait till then. I'm gonna be honest, brother. Oh, dude, they keep sending me emails. Thank goodness I only ordered one set. I ordered a lot more than one set. So yeah, I guess I'll keep a lookout for that now. Jeez Louise. Anyways, yeah, wasn't expecting that so soon. I'll have to figure that nonsense out. But let's move right along, shall we? So this is what I kind of wanted to take a look at here. I wanted to take a look at how many did I order? 27. Earlier when I think Raul brought it up in chat, you know what I mean? Star Wars and Brews, I get it. I figured you wouldn't be. But I ordered a lot of clones. A grand army, 200,000 units at the ready, and 1 million more well on the way. But yeah, so let's take a look at. We got totally derailed there. I wasn't ready to have that conversation yet. But that's not what I wanted to pull up. This is what I wanted to pull up. This is the checklist for the Battle of Geonosis campaign. And hey, Culta Christensen, what's going on? Welcome to the stream, man. This is the checklist. This is what Hasbro came out with this year for the Battle of Geonosis. And honestly, we calculated it. Everybody's calculating it. By the way, pre-orders for everything else starts tomorrow, so get into the Blitz Transmissions Discord and the Syndicate Discord if you want to get in on all that. Yeah. 200,000 units at the ready and 1 million more well on the way. Looking at the checklist, though, for what we got for the Battle of Geonosis, this is something that I think is honestly not that bad, considering how stringent this is what I was saying. Pulse for me also says November 1st. I don't know why all of a sudden they emailed me saying all of them are now coming August 1st. So take a look at your email. Because it was only on Hasbro Pulse, right? Llama Sue in here. Yeah, bro, I did 27. And I was expecting to have a little more time to get them all. Lamazoo is Tommy's personal sales associate. I was expecting to have a little more time. Yeah, they emailed me. They're still emailing me because this was my other thing. Okay, I have a bone to pick with Hasbro Pulse. Hasbro Pulse can be super, super frustrating. I'm going to be real. Because everybody's saying August 1st. Come on, come on, Hasbro, it's a slap in the face to collectors. There we go. Yeah. Jeez, he's in 444 packs. Yeah, literally. Might as well. We'll just take this entire shipping container to this guy's house. But to the point, though, I think that for what they did, for how thin the TVC budget is for the year, I do think they really offered a decent amount of stuff for this campaign. Of course, there's the big kahuna, the gunship. It comes with 2 pilots, 1 loose, 1 carded, and you get your Coleman Trevor, who will be my hood ornament. Yeah. And then, of course, we've got our different characters here. We've got Padme, we've got Shakti, we got awesome new characters like Poggle the Lesser, a single-packed version of the Super Battle Droid, Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have a commander for both the clones and for the droids, with the Battle Droid Commander and the Clone Commander, a Geonosian multi-pack, we've got a Clone multi-pack, we've got the Battle Droids. I think, Plo Koon, Shakti, I think they did a good job of getting us a good mix of characters. And this is where I agree. I hope that they move to the Clone Wars next year. I hope that they give us some more packs that have to do with some more stuff than just this one moment in the movie. But considering how stringent the budget is, maybe that's why they chose this one moment. Dude, Pulse is the worst, because when I was ordering my multi-packs, they only would let you order 5 at a time. Why? Why are you only letting me order 5 at a time? Because they say limit of 5 per customer. So I order 5. Then if I go back in, I'm allowed to order 5 more, but I can only order 5. It's like 5 clone packs and 5 more clone packs. Like, come on, man. They did say a few more are coming. It's not big reveals. Right, for 2027. Yeah. Mandalorian packs would be sick. Yeah, dude, that's the bulldozer coming in to foreclose on my house. But, yeah, I think, honestly, the spread here is pretty good. The spread of what we see on screen is a decent spread, especially for the army builders. That's my biggest thing, because again, for me, Vintage Collection is what I can't do with Black Series. Vintage Collection for me is its advantages over Black Series. The ability to have a ton of figures in a much more confined space, the ability to really army build for in a much more inexpensive way than you can in Black Series, and they give you more troop builders. Black Series gives you a lot more lately. They've been giving you a lot more named clones. I mean, look at, case in point, Jesse and Dogma and Hardcase. And I would love to get Dogma and Hardcase in Vintage Collection as well. Where's the hat? Son of a... I should have put it on. I should have worn the hat here. Let me see. Let me go grab it. The lat hat. We gotta go get it. Let's see. Move some stuff around here. The lat hat. It's always 49er Brian. He always pops in only when I'm talking about Republic Gunship stuff. Here it is, guys. In the green colorway, the lat hat. Let's bust this puppy on. Oh, geez. I think I put it on. Oh, no, the Velcro. Hang on, the Velcro's separating a little bit. These things are made to last. Take a look here. Boom. Lat hat in tow. Ready to go. Take a look. Look at that. Here's the lat hat, guys. This was the campaign hat for the Republic Gunship HasLab last year. So, check it out. Pretty cool, huh? Lat hat, everybody, all the channel members, drop the lat hat emojis in the chat. Hell yeah. Can I get a hell yeah for the lat hat? Anyway, yeah, I believe they limited it to the arena for the initial campaign. It was more manageable for the budget and fan expectations and fit all the figs in one location. Yeah. Don't worry, brother. I'm married now. Come on now, brother. Don't worry about it. Pause the stream. But, yeah. So going back to the poster here, this was honestly, like, my big thing. This was... I think I'm satisfied with the Battle of Geonosis, tempering my expectations and understanding the limitations of what the Vintage Collection is and what it can do. I think that, yeah, I appreciate you, dude. Everybody dropping the lat hat emojis. But, yeah, I think honestly it's one of those that it's realizing that there are things that we want and things that we can expect. There's a difference because it is a limitation. And unfortunately, I feel like a lot of times the Vintage Collection is treated like the red-headed stepchild of the Star Wars action figure lines. Especially, I'm not going to lie, seeing the Retro Collection is getting like quadruple the amount of figures for 2027 as compared to previous years. And looking at that in comparison to what TVC, like it seems like TVC is just getting the same, you know? It's like, come on, man. What are we doing, you know? More Jedi. I get it. I know a lot of people have been, especially the guys over at SWTVC, they've been really calling out for more Jedi. And I get it. But at the same time, it's like, what do we really want from the Vintage Collection, you know? And I also hear the point from people, they're like, oh, it's, you know, this wave was repacks and retools. Yeah, but again, I'm going to harken back to people that are now getting into the Vintage Collection line because of the Republic Gunship. Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan were essential, in my opinion. I don't want to go back and buy the outdated versions of the figures. They look good, but the articulation is not going to hold up to the newer figures. You know? Now, I will agree with you here, Star Wars and Brews. Yoda. That was a bit of a miss. You know? I really wish that they would have been a little bit smarter with Yoda. I feel like we could have dropped Shaak Ti or Plo Koon and gotten Yoda. Because like Star Wars and Bruce points out, he literally lands on the lead gunship. Around the survivors, a perimeter create. Yoda can still be coming. This is true. This is true. Where is Yoda? Yep. I was trying to think of some clever way to make the little riddle that Yoda says all the time. But yeah, we got Jango just a couple years ago in maybe 2 or 3 years ago now as a deluxe figure. You can still find him on the aftermarket pretty readily. Whereas Anakin and Obi-Wan, I feel like it's been a little bit longer than that. Darth Sidious from Clone Wars would be great. They have the tooling for Yoda. When was the last 3 3/4 Yoda release? That's a great question, because I couldn't even tell you. See, Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan updates were essential. The Anakin is 13 years old. The Obi-Wan was 17 years old. That is crazy. What did Moocher say? Yes, I agree. Maybe one more Yoda and one less Padme. Yeah, I would have rather taken the battle damage Padme, just saying if I had to pick between the two. What stupid thing did Moocher say? Oh, these are the Yodas coming. I guess that's like medium stupid from Moocher. But we got Yoda. Will have a theatrical version of Yoda before the Black Series. Yeah. I don't know what you meant by that. Did you mean TVC? But no, I don't think it's swivel hips. I think this is a new figure. It's got the new Obi-Wan legs. But yeah, I think ultimately though, with this particular figure, this particular poster as well, I think they've done a good job. They've done a decent job. It could always be better. There's always room for improvement. But I have to give them props with especially focusing on the army building aspect. This is the first of the 5 HasLabs that we've gotten in TVC. This was the first one that was army buildable, that you could get multiples of. And through like what they did with it, with the water decals and the swappable panels, I think that they really encouraged the army building aspect of this campaign through the army builders that they included for this year. The clone troopers, the Geonosians, and the battle droids were essential to creating the large-scale battle that is this scene. There's always more they can do. I want droidicas. I want the big Geonosian sonic turret. I want, but I'm glad they did stuff like the Ore, and maybe underscaled, but I'm glad they did it, They did. They seriously took care of army builders, Dooku with the speeder for his escape. That could be coming next year as well, because that was another thing. And then we got July. Chris and Brandon said those Arena Jedi are coming. Do not worry. They were very specific about that in the SDCC post-panel interview. Thank you, July, for that awesome info. But yeah, I think that they said very clearly there are going to be items released in 2027 that are going to support these HasLabs. Items, not just figures. That could be multi-packs, vehicles, playsets, you name it. Hopefully not mini rigs, because apparently now we're thinking about doing mini rigs. Hopefully not for TVC. I'm sure it was recorded by somebody on YouTube. Yeah, I'm sure you could find it. But let's see who else we got here. Evans in here says, I agree, they did a good job. Factor through the figure perspective. Yeah. No wow factor. I'm not going to lie, bro. I feel like Rada was the wow factor. Rada is a really, really cool character. And I feel like he is a character that was really engineered really well. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he was a character that, like, the omnidirectional movement, them using that Gargantos engineering that came out for the Marvel Legends Gamerverse line. Was that this year too? I want to say that was this year, the Gargantos. It could have been like late last year, early this year, but I feel like that's been out for some time. Oh, for Battle of Geonosis, the gunship is the wow factor. The gunship is the wow factor. Protest for Papa Ping Pong Krell. I agree, dude. But I think we got to give him a chance. You know what I mean? There's stuff that I will absolutely be very vocal about being negative, or my negative thoughts on. You know what I mean? Like there's stuff that I absolutely will have my critiques on, like the X-Wing. The Kenner X-Wing, I don't believe that belongs in the vintage collection. I will be vocal about that. The Embo being $60 for Black Series. I will be very, very vocal about that. So I guess now let me kind of pivot to, and we can continue this SDCC conversation, but I do want to pivot to what next for the Battle of Geonosis. Where do I want to see this go? And I did already talk about it a little bit, but I wanted to give some specifics. I would love to see some sort of a mini beat to expand the actual Battle of Geonosis as opposed to just the landing in the arena. I think that, like you guys are echoing, I think top of my list are Yoda and Mace Windu. I think those two characters are seriously top of my list for what they can do next. Another one, Dwarf Spider Droid. And we could also do the Big Spider Droid. But as far as the Dwarf Spider Droid, you guys know I love to do my little campaign hashtags. And initially I was going to say hashtag do the dwarf. But the more that I thought about it, that sounds a little bit weird, doesn't it? Hashtag do the dwarf. I feel like that sounds just a little bit different. But I also wanted to pull something else up while I'm sitting here, because this was something that I wanted to really, because again, just jumping back to Star Wars and Brews. I know you're not the only person I've seen feel that way about, feel like you're going to throw in the towel, right? But let's just look at what's come out for the vintage collection, like so far this year. Check his PC. That's crazy. This is a great one, Scott. Geonosian Fighter, Spider Droid, Hailfire Droid, Solar Speeder. Those are big things that they could do, like, bigger things. I'm seeing Nexu. Nexu is a great one. I saw Hailfire Droid a few times, Spider Droid a few times. Kiadi Mundi, Forward Command Center. I'm praying, I'm begging and pleading for an ATTE in 2028. That's what I want in 2028 is an ATTE. And I agree, Dr. Jones. I feel like the Acklay, the Reek, and the Nexu kind of need to be done. Especially, like, if you're not going to do a HasLab offering this year and you're going into 2027, I feel like that's a good one to do. Really build out a good supplement. ATTE, dude. Like I've been saying, I'd be okay with a repaint of the 2008 version. But let's see. So I did want to pull this up here. So funnily enough, dude, I have a Black Series scale Forward Command Center 3D printed by Infinity 3D Collectibles. Expect a video on that later this week. ATT with multiple decos. Exactly. But let's take a look here. Just trying to keep track of everything here. I did want to pull up this tab here from our buddy who is also on a hiatus. Mile High Ground. Okay. The GOAT, right? This guy's awesome. Please go show Evan some love. But yeah, I see you guys echoing for the ATTE. I would absolutely love that. ATAP, that'd be cool too. I'll take that one as well. And yes, the blue one that Jazzwares did is super cool too. That Wolfpack ATTE. But this is a great poster, a great representation. This was posted recently too, just 6 weeks ago. So we haven't even really got that much added. Guys, look at all that we've gotten for the vintage collection just this year. And this is something that I kind of want to bring up to, collectors like Star Wars and Brews who are feeling very discouraged. I personally don't feel discouraged after seeing this weekend's reveals in totality. But Evan and his incredible work on creating a poster like this. Here we go. See, this is some love, some TVC OT love. Love all of it so far. See what I mean? That's so... If they take a break from it for one wave, is it really that much of a problem for collectors? And that's what I think. That's where I think it's... Oh, it's Black Series that's killing you. Oh, okay. See, I think there's a reason they've stepped back for Black Series, because I do think they're going to do some original trilogy stuff next year. But look at the spread here. This is such a good spread of original trilogy. You've got some great releases for The Mandalorian and Grogu. You've got some great releases for Maul Shadow Lord. they've done a really good job of mixing things up, and they've gotten a lot of really highly desired characters out as well. These 2-packs on the multi-packs world building section have completely blown me away. You know, and this is before even seeing the Clone Trooper multi-pack, the Battle Droid multi-pack. Look at all this. This is all vintage collection just this year. You know? And Star Wars and Brews, it's a great diversification. Yeah. And I agree. The Republic Forward Command Center is a good fit. Yeah, definitely. Hashtag advance the ATTE. All right, keep that in the back pocket in case we end up needing that for 2028. I agree. They should do commando droids. That's one that's on mine. That's where I'm saying there's more you can do. I want a Clone Wars era addition to the Battle of Geonosis. You know? And here's another one. TVC battle droid with C-3PO head. And give me the vice versa one. Would the command center fit on the lat? No, it's like something that the lat lands next to. It's like where Yoda jumps off after they leave the Geonosis arena. Certain big mouths on YouTube have ruined the hobby for new collectors, or at least pushed them away. I do think that's a huge issue. I made a post recently, a community post. And honestly, while we're sitting here, let's take a look at that, because I feel like a lot of this is very relevant to what we're talking about here. So let's go to Blitz, or we could just go to my own profile. Jeez. I made a post while I was out flying back on my 11-hour flight for my honeymoon. There is a similar graphic. We'll check out Great White North Empire's page. I kind of did a discussion post here, and thank you to everybody that commented. I haven't had a chance to reply to many of you, but I plan to. I kind of threw out a post to you guys just with some questions, and I answered my own questions in the comments as well. I believe it should be a pinned comment. Maybe it doesn't show up like that on this here, but I replied to myself on these here, and I said, this is my honest opinion here, and this is what I feel like is also contributing to a lot of the frustration with the reveals from this weekend, just personally. This is answering the question that I had. One of my main questions on this thread was, is there anything about the collecting community that frustrates you, if anything? And so I replied to that question, and I said, for my own answer, a big frustration I have with the communities of all of the lines I collect is the gatekeeping. It shows itself in different ways with each line. For the vintage collection, it's in my opinion, very entitled group of veteran collectors who put down the younger generations very passive-aggressively, as if their childhood Star Wars isn't as important or relevant as the original 3 movies. The vintage collection needs desperately to depart from such a strong original trilogy focus, in my opinion, if it wants to continue to thrive. As for the Black Series, this same passive-aggressive entitlement and gatekeeping shows itself with a younger generation of fans. It's equally as annoying in comment sections and forums. Across the board, it's very much a know-it-all mentality that tends to suck all the fun out of the hobby. And July's coming in with a hot one, too. And there are times where I do agree with this. TVC community is overly negative. The hobby is often complaining and not collecting. It's looking for things to be wrong. You know? Yeah, a general sense with squeaky wheels. So tired. And it's the truth, though. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves, you know, because it's a shame. It's a real shame. I really get frustrated with it because this is not what the hobby is supposed to be about. The hobby is not supposed to elicit such frustrated feelings in you as a collector. I feel like a lot of times we get so caught up in, and this is something that on Sarlacc Digest Toy Chest, we're trying to depart from this. Depart from constantly going, okay, what's next, and kind of moving more into appreciating what you've got, the collection that you have. We can have our critiques of how Hasbro is handling the lines, and we can be very vocal about them, and I think it's important to be. However, at the same time, I think it's equally important to recognize what you like about your collection and what you like about the hobby. And if you don't like the hobby, if you don't even like your own collection, then maybe you should reconsider contributing to the hobby at all. Lockstar, when you're positive and say good things, you're called a shill, and when you say negative things, you're a grifter. I believe it's all in how you say it. It all comes from how you say it. Hearing new media slop, it's so cringe and eye-rolling. And again, that's someone's opinion, but it's kind of the way they say it is very gatekeepy. They're shutting down other people's opinions. And I agree with Dr. Jones. I think the overly negative group is just loud. They're keyboard ninjas who attack from the shadows. My general interactions are hugely positive. Yeah, absolutely. Mudhorn Station, welcome in. Let's see. My issues with SDCC are not with what was released, but what wasn't, even though Black Series got it. Garsax and Mother Talzin to go with the already issued Rook cast. 3 of my top 5 most wanted. And unfortunately, though, that's just how it's always been. Vintage Collection just doesn't get as many character releases in a year. I wish they did. But how do you get to that point? We have to grow the Vintage Collection line. That's Steve Evans' big thing. How do we grow the line? How do we grow the line? How do we grow the line? I'll tell you what, it's not through. It's not through doing releases that only appeal to collectors who either grew up with Kenner or like Kenner. It's by doing new and exciting things, taking risks. And the problem there is that the mega corporation that is Hasbro is risk averse. They don't want to take these risks. They don't. It's the bean counters. It's not the creative teams. It's not the Hasbro Star Wars team. It's not the Hasbro Marvel team. It's not the G.I. Joe team. There are people, there are powers that be that these guys and these creative teams can't even control. They're just given a budget. This is how much money you have. Work with it. And that some of that has to go into tooling and paint hits and articulation and updates and repaints. And it's a very complex process, Lockstar 2, wins and losses. Black Series didn't get the Amani Warrior. That's true. We did not get that one. Black Series still eagerly awaiting an update to the Phase 1 Clone Trooper that TVC got. TVC also just got the Geonosis Battle Droid Commander. That Black Series has been shouting, the Black Series community has been collectively shouting to the hills for months and months and months about, we want some in-universe Battle Droid repaints. You know what I mean? And then Vintage Collection gets a Geonosis Battle Droid. So it's give and take. You can look where the grass is greener on the other side, or again, to my point, appreciate the collection that you have and appreciate what you're building in your own collection. Alexander Storm said, some get the dopamine hit when figures are announced and some when they arrive. And that's true. All right, Cult of Christensen, if you think TVC collectors are bad when it comes to complaining, certain Lego Star Wars fans are far more annoying. I agree. The helmet holes thing is not one that I will ever understand. Because at least these action figures, they're trying to look like the character from the media, right? Lego minifigures are not, they're caricatures. They're not even trying to look like something. I did grow up with Kenner, but the figures that dominate my wanted lists are either Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, and the newer media stuff. I agree. I love both the Black Series and TVC. I think we are lucky to have 2 great lines. And that's kind of what I wanted to point out when I brought up Evan's, Evan's post here. And I also want to bring up Great White North Empire too, because he also has a great one for the Black Series. Someone was asking about the Black Series. But first I got to say, my guy, this was awesome. Shout out to my friend, Great White North Empire. I loved these posters that he made. Hashtag back the lat. This is Mr. Stevie actually reached out to him and asked him if he could make these. And it was awesome. For the 5 for 5 HasLabs that TVC's got. You got Back the Bar. That looks great. Get the Ghost. That one looks awesome too. Raise the Crest. And Back the Barge. It just looks awesome. I absolutely love it. And you can see it at the panel there. That is so awesome. Congrats to Great White North Empire for doing such a cool job on those posters. Such a cool set there. Absolutely love it. Let's see. We got Joel. What's up, Joel? This dude's absolutely goated when he joins the chat. Hey, Blitz and chat. I was super thrilled with the reveals from SDCC. However, Hasbro would benefit a lot with more prequel stuff for TVC. Black Series is getting more anticipated characters, to be honest. And I see a lot of you guys echoing that. And I think you're right. And I think it's honestly, I think we need to, as I said, this is my opinion, but I think that if the vintage collection wants to really bring new people in, we need to depart from doing the same over and over and over again. I get it for guys that have been in this since the very beginning, guys who have been collecting for 50 plus, almost 50 years now. You are in this trying to complete a collection. You want every character that showed up on screen in those first 3 movies. But as time goes on, the amount of people that want that for their collections dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. We need to bring new people in. I don't want this to be, and this is where it's the gatekeeping and a bit of selfishness comes into it as well, where I don't think that it's fair to Deb Nolly would bring in new collectors. I would, at this point, Deb Nolly is such a joke to me that I would buy him like for the meme. To me, it's you're not, the gatekeeping comes from a sense of selfishness in that way, and I will say, more particularly for veteran collectors, I call them, because you don't care if it sells well, you don't care if it performs well, you don't care if it continues to make the hobby flourish. You just want the character that you want. There are plenty of characters like that I want as well, but I don't put down things that I don't want. If Hasbro makes something that isn't for me, it's not for me. And it's as simple as that. What am I doing? Why are we on the crest? Let's get back to the best HasLab. The best of the 5 HasLabs? How dare you say that? The client would say that. We need the client. We need it. I love my Black Series, though. I've been getting them only for highly desired characters that I love. Can we all agree that TVC is lacking in Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor figures? Yes, absolutely. Vintage Collection needs to catch up with Black Series in that way. Yeah. So, would totally get new collectors into the line. All right, somebody ban Movie Toy Tuber. But ultimately, guys, I think that's where my head's at. I think I think we need to continue to innovate and take some creative risks. I know Steve Evans just today was talking about how mini rigs are creative risks. I think there's a lot more reward in the risk of doing something a little bit differently, with doing different character releases and such. There's a particular post that I'm looking at from Great White North Empire. It used to be pinned, but it looks like he removed the pin post. So it might be from a while ago now. Here it is, right here. This is a little bit older. It's from 11 weeks ago as opposed to 6 weeks. But he made like a catalog. This is something that I would love to see Black Series and TVC return to. The little booklets, the little pamphlets that come out. They give you the checklists for the wave and the stuff that's, coming out at the time, whether it's vehicles or multi-packs or you name it. This is awesome. Just, again, super talented, such great graphic design, such great work here. I absolutely love it. But look at this character spread. It is a very different character spread than the Vintage Collection. And I think that the Vintage Collection maybe should lean into more of this Clone Wars and Expanded Universe stuff that Black Series is currently doing. I just feel like that might... Yeah. I just feel like that might bring more people in. Turn some heads. Get people excited for Vintage Collection stuff. And because this is the other thing, I mean, let's be real. I'm just gonna start. This might, if you're a Black Series collector, this might bother you. I'm gonna be real. I saw that Vintage Collection. I saw the Black Series got the Remnant ATRT revealed. I have 2 of them. I don't know what I did with my other one, but I have 2 in the Vintage Collection. But Black Series just got this reveal. This, in my opinion, is a better release than what Black Series got, because of the articulating stand, which allows you to have these one-legged mid-stride, even like jumping poses with these things, and the blast effect. Those are things that the Black Series version doesn't include. In addition to that, I don't have them, of course, on hand. They're across the room. Imperial Remnant Snowtroopers. I think TVC did it better because they have the soft goods skirt piece. There are things TVC is doing better than Black Series. Like, the figures are on par. I know people say like, oh, I'm not going to pay $20 for a 3 3/4 figure. Brother, open one. I mean, I have so many friends. Every time I show a friend, like, I've got on hand, I've got a bunch of desk buddies, if you can't tell. I've got these guys, the new TVC clones. I've got a ton of these guys. Every time one of my friends handles one of these, I have, like, my buddy's 212 Hunter. He, obligatory 212 Hunter mention, he used to swear by the antenna mold. The antenna mold is the best clone trooper mold. The new one isn't as good. He spent 10 seconds, swear to God, 10 seconds articulating one of these dudes here and changed it. He goes, brother, these are way better than the antenna mold. Yeah, bro. You know what I mean? That's I think we need to depart from the opinion. I think you know what? I'll say it this way. I think that we have entered, and we haven't even realized it yet. Dude, I literally made this joke. I got a rock. Dude, if you got that one, let me know. Yes, the newest clone mold is the best clone mold, hands down. Exactly, dude. Exactly. And that's what, yeah, as long as the quality is there, then I'm much more willing to buy a figure that has the quality. Like, these super battle droids are insane, dude. These are nuts. These are insane. I will happily buy these because I want them. And if there's something to critique, I'll critique it. You know? Now, I have to say, I had a whole train of thought. This is my thing. I don't even think that the community realizes this yet. But we are entering a very pivotal moment in the Star Wars action figure world. Because this is the first big generational passing of the torch. I'm seeing lots of veteran collectors, guys that grew up with the original movies, have been collecting for, almost 50 years now, saying, yeah, I think after 2027 I'm out. I think, maybe I'm out now. I'll dabble. Maybe I'm in, This is the opportunity where the next generation needs to step up and take the passing of the torch. It's like the changing of the guard. And I think that it's, as a content creator, it's your responsibility, really, to think about what you say and how you say it. You might not like what I have to say, but I do my best to be as respectful and cordial as I can in the points that I make. I think that it's important to still champion things from the previous media. I mean, look, I got on my t-shirt right now. I love Clone Wars, but I love stuff from the original trilogy as well. Like Bosk, awesome. IG-88, awesome. Like, I love those characters. But again, Bosk is a character that also showed up in the Clone Wars. So I love Bosk. Bosk is so cool. Blitz, I'm OT generation. You genuinely enjoy your era. Seeing that makes me want you to get the figures from your era. I do my best. Again, that's New Republic X-Wing when. And that's, again, I think that we need to, the younger generation needs to start, being a little bit more vocal, championing things that we want to see, while also recognizing that there is still a market for the original trilogy stuff. Sorry, I have my phone off to the side. Tommy has plenty of clones. Enough is enough. All right, guys. Hashtag ban Darth Moocher in the chat. Perhaps my frustration is realizing I'm old, fighting a losing battle. And that's the thing, though. Maybe don't reevaluate if you should be collecting or not. Reevaluate, take that moment, take that step back. Scott Solo is doing this right now. Scott Solo's been feeling pretty burned out on collecting recently. So what is Scott Solo doing? He tore down his entire collection and he's moving things around. This was a great idea from Darth Moocher that he gave to Scott Solo. Reevaluating the collection and saying, okay, what in here do I really appreciate and do I really enjoy? And is there anything that I don't enjoy anymore and I could just get rid of? And Scott's getting rid of a large chunk of his collection now, but he's gaining a much deeper appreciation for the collection that he has and really optimizing how he displays the collection that he has. That is the key difference here. Not every release is going to be for you. And I keep saying this over and over again. So that's the big point I'm trying to reiterate here. I think that San Diego Comic-Con is really for the first time. Bro, sequel trilogy, Holdo. Mandalorian. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait, you like Mandalorians? Oh, okay. Cool. As long as TVC gets them, I don't think that'll ever be an issue. Good, man. And again, it's your cup of tea. It's what everybody's into personally. And this is where I think that Hasbro could really benefit from doing themed waves. I know not everybody's a huge fan of this idea, but I feel like themed waves are just such an easier pill to swallow, because if they just come out and say, we're doing themed waves like this one, and it doesn't, and when I say themed, I don't mean like this one is from this movie, this one is from this show. No, if we theme waves and say like, maybe this one is from this era of Star Wars, or we're building out this scene with this wave of figures, I feel like it incentivizes people to buy the, more figures from that wave because they want to complete that scene. And it also maybe incentivizes collectors to want to maybe be a little more forgiving of when things come out and are revealed that they're not interested in. Because then they'll go, okay, cool, this particular wave, nah, not my cup of tea, but, I'll hang around for the next wave and see what they do. And there also, a lot of times, there's concurrent fan channel waves that run at the same time as mainline waves. You know what I mean? But, let's see. You guys are going crazy in the chat. Definitely gut the toy room, rebuild it one piece at a time. Even if it takes a year, it will really make you appreciate the collection, and it will guide you on how to proceed. Yeah, that's why I've tried not to buy the Mandalorian and Grogu figures. I'm not buying the ones I didn't want, but I have a feeling within a few years I'll remove them from my shelves, either because of space or non-interest. Yes, theme waves would be great for TVC. I missed that from modern Lego Star Wars. Yes. So that's another one right there. You know what I mean? Now this is another one here. So like full wave of all Order 66 commanders in TVC would be great for me. Black Series has been getting spoiled with the clones I want in TVC. I love that. That's the box art for the Tiger Shark Arc 170. Someone hide Bly. But that's one where I feel like they could do that as just a multi-pack. Just put it out as a multi-pack, get that out, that boom, multi-pack with a bunch of clones. Or do it like throughout the year. Say, hey, like we're gonna start knocking out the Revenge of the Sith clone commanders. Boom, boom, boom. Put them out in multi-packs throughout the year or throughout 2 years. I feel like that's another thing is I feel like the companies would really benefit from just saying, like, I know we've been hearing it, time and time again. It's like, particularly like Brandon from the marketing team for Hasbro. Just wait till you see the vision. I think I would like to be told, hey, here's the vision. Here's what we're thinking. Here's the theme. Here's our thought process behind this idea or this theme or this wave or release or whatever it be. And I feel like the understanding from the collecting community makes things that maybe we don't want an easier pill to swallow. Honestly, time to be honest, the Clone Wars is a world building line. Must be done in 375. Speeders, turbo tank, droids, droid tanks. Spider droid. Nice. Hey! Check it out. Star Wars and Brews. We got him. We reeled him back in. We got that 10 gifted Rancor Battalion channel memberships. Shout out to all 10 people who just got gifted a Rancor Battalion channel membership. You guys are awesome. Enjoy those custom emojis that were created by Great White North Empire, the absolute GOAT, who also was on our live reaction stream. He says, got 10 lurkers. Appreciate you, dude. But back to the point that I was making. I feel like, let's look at this one more time here. Battle of Geonosis. This has been some of the most fun that I've had collecting in probably the longest time ever. I really have had so much fun collecting this era and going back and backlogging this era as well. It's been so much fun. Tommy, I don't think I'm sold on TVC. I think I may need 4 of your 4 clone packs to change my mind. Oh, dude, that's too funny. Um, you seriously need to get some clones on him. You seriously need to. What's your 3 favorite releases from Battle of Geonosis so far? That's a tough one. So obviously, we'll exclude the gunship on this because you guys already know, for no reason at all, the gunship is one of my favorites. But I think if I had to pick 3, that's tough. Poggle the Lesser is definitely one. I love that figure. Is he on my shelf right now? Sometimes I forget. Like I've been reorganizing my Star Wars room, and because I'm trying to make way for my fleet of gunships coming. Check this out. This Poggle the Lesser's one, definitely. I just think he's an awesome character. Some amazing sculpt work went into him, and he's perfect in my opinion. So Poggle, the Super Battle Droid is probably another one. He's absolutely amazing. I love the Super. And then if I had to pick one more, that's a tough one. Another one from the Battle of Geonosis. Because some of them haven't even come out yet. I feel like I just have to say the 4-pack. You know what I mean? I feel like the 4-pack is just the way to go. But yeah. I feel like those are my 3. The Clone 4-pack, the Poggle the Lesser, and the Super Battle Droid are my 3 favorites, just subjectively. I'm not trying to say they're the best figures, but they're definitely my favorites. Then again, though, I'll wait. Maybe I'll feel differently when we see Obi-Wan, Anakin, and the rest of the wave. Yeah, my favorites are CT-001, CT-002, CT-003. Imagine a Battle of Coruscant thing with Revenge of the Sith stuff, multiple ships, Jedi Separatists, and even 2D Clone Wars stuff. I'm telling you, man, I really hope that's what 2028 ends up being. Like I said, I think we're in like a really weird place right now with, hey, Stu John Jedi, what's up, GOAT? Hey, Tommy, just watched your SDCC AA After Action Figure Report. Thanks for the updates. I missed everything this weekend. Well, I hope I got you caught up. And I agree, Cult of Christensen, Clone 4-pack, Droid 4-pack, Arena Padme. Arena Padme was great. I really didn't think they were going to do Arena Padme. That one really excited me. I wouldn't turn down a feature re-release of the Geonosian 4-pack, but slightly altered to be... Dude, see, that is the kind of... When I say Clone Wars era, I know... I don't know why you guys think I'm so obsessed with Clone Troopers or anything. It's not like I've got Doom and Thorn and Hardcase and Dogma, and then I've got a couple I've even got more clones over here because I did some figure photography recently. I got Commander Cody, I've got Commander Bakara, and then if you look at TVC, I've got some older figures. I've got ARC Trooper 5s chilling over here. I've got the Lambent Seeker ARC Trooper from Battlefront chilling over here. Let me see. Oh, I've got Captain Rex from the Bad Batch 4-pack chilling over here. I have some up above. I've got probably one of my favorite ones, the Phase 2 501st. Yeah. Did you know I like Clone Troopers? Oh, I've got, in my opinion, one of the best Clone Troopers in the Black Series line. Phase 1, Coruscant Guard. I don't know why you guys think I'm so obsessed with clones. But anyway, all that to say, there's a lot more. I want the Clone Wars era. I feel like a lot of people overlook like how great of a year, like just if we just took the entirety of 2028 and just went, let's just do stuff from the Clone Wars era. There's so much more than just Clone Troopers. The Clone Troopers are just gimme repaints, but there's also things you can do with battle droids. There's commando droids. There's droidicas. There's training droids. There's aqua droids. There's magna guards. There's all kinds. There's assassin droids. There's scum and villainy. There's Hondo Onaka. There's Dirge. There's Jedi like Pong Krell, new species of aliens out there. There's Jedi Masters Tipley and Tiplar, who would go great with Commander Doom. There's additional, there's the Mortis Gods. That would be a great 3-pack. The Undead Geonosians. There's Admiral Trench. There's another one right there. It's spider droids. You guys are all, see what I mean? Like there's so much. Nah, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. There are about to be 27 canceled orders because I wasn't expecting them to ship 3 months early. Tired of waiting. Hashtag cancel Krell. Swiftly followed by Domino Squad box set. Like there's Bosk is in the Clone Wars. There's Dengar is in the Clone Wars. There's opportunities to get original trilogy stuff in the Clone Wars era. Wait till Tommy watches actual Star Wars. All right, bro. Somebody ban this guy. There's a hilarious video on Instagram where a dude is ordering at a drive. Oh, yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that video. I thought you were going to do the 5 Whoppers and 5 more Whoppers. Tommy just listed off 50 figures that will never be made. Never say never, brother. Never say never, dude. Do we think Hasbro will release the Destroyer soon? For TVC? Maybe. I didn't expect them to do a Super Battle Droid so soon. I was, I also have one with the rocket arm here. I've got him throwing a little gangsta like that. Got him throwing the rocket arm. Delta Squad? Yeah. Oh, Poggle, you want the Poggle voice? Poggle. Shout out my goat. I actually took Geonosis classes in college. That was my language. You talking about current Droideka? That would be sick if it came out next year. That'd be sick. Watch those wrist rockets, dude. Now that would be another one. Back in the day, back in like 2010 or 2000, it might have been even as early as 2008. They did 6 packs of the 6 main classes for the battle droids and the clones from Battlefront 2 2005. So that would be super sick. But that is ultimately, I think that just leaning more heavily into not just the Clone Wars, but I think Star Wars animation is a good way to bring people in to the collecting hobby and into TVC specifically. TK Troopers, bro. Come on, man. That's one where I'm like, all right, bro. They've shown up in so much media. What are we doing? What are we doing here? You know? No, I didn't actually take. The BF-26. Okay, so they were in 2007, because I know they were repacked in the 2008 packaging as well. And I think Shelf Life has one of those. But yeah. So, is there anything else that I wanted to talk about on this stream? Because I know I've covered. I'm happy with Battle of Geonosis. Now I just have to anxiously await the release of the gunships themselves. Once I get my gunships, I will be a happy camper, and I'll quit my channel. But yeah, so how about how are we feeling? So ultimately, let's kind of unpack it. How are we feeling coming out of San Diego Comic-Con? We feel a little better now that we got to discuss it a little bit, maybe unpack it. Top 5 wants for Battle of Geonosis. Ooh, brother. Okay. I got to really think about this. So, are we talking about top 5 wants for the Attack of the Clones Battle of Geonosis? Or can I also include the second Battle of Geonosis from the Clone Wars? Because, and also specify for me, are we doing just figures? Or are we talking like vehicles and play sets and other things like that as well? Because I already see you guys going crazy in here. I want to know where the hell. You want to know what's worse, bro? It's not 7 anymore. Now it's 8. Now it's 8. Oh, dude. Episode 2 specifically, figs and vehicles. Okay. So I'm lumping them in as one because I want them as a multi-pack. Number 1 is the Acklay, the Reek, and the Nexu. I feel like the Arena Beasts can be lumped into one pick. I'm cheating already, as you can tell. The pivotal part in the battle. We have the Padme. We have both versions of Padme before and after she gets attacked by the Nexu. So I want... No, I work a job that I get a lot of overtime all the time available to me. And because of that, I have extra money laying around. because I work overtime that I don't get the choice to work. I have to work it all the time. So I think the Arena Beasts are my main one. Yoda is another one for me. A new Mace Windu makes number 3. The Dwarf Spider Droid, hashtag do the dwarf, is another one. Hashtag do the dwarf. And then I really like you guys are saying Droidica, but I also kind of want to say Dooku on his speeder. I feel like that's a cool one. Or I've also forgot about the Geonosis, the Geonosian Sonic Cannon. That's another one. That's another one too. Damn. That's tough. That gets tough quick. But yeah, I think that's where I'd be at. Let me organize that a little better. Arena Beast number 1, Yoda number 2, Mace Windu number 3. Oh, Mooch! ATTE! I feel like that's... We got Bly, hashtag make Mace. I like that. 199. Thanks for the 199. Hashtag make Mace. Sonic Cannon would be sick. I agree. I like all your guys' picks. Wanted a Dwarf Spider Droid for years. It's been my favorite since I was a kid. And honestly, I feel like they could get away with doing it as a deluxe figure. I feel like it doesn't need to be more than $27.99. It's really not that much bigger than a Droidica. I'm going to be so real. It's really not that much bigger than a Droidica. Like, its legs are wide, but the body itself, it's not much bigger than a Droidica. Ki-Adi-Mundi, Mr. Conehead. I feel like that's another good one. This is a great list right here. Yoda, Mace, Saci, Kid Fisto, Ayla. Those are good ones as well. Who points better? Lobot or Dooku? Alright, bro. You're banned. Get him out of here. I'd pay deluxe for a Dwarf Spider Droid. I'd happily pay $27.99 for a Dwarf Spider Droid. Just saying. Brother needs Black Series Reek. Yeah. Hello. I do think that Black Series would be sick if Black Series got the Arena Beasts as well. All right. Somebody ban Mooch. I need the TVC ATTE. I agree, brother. I agree. That'd be a sick one. Yeah. Bark Speeder. Bark Speeder is in the Battlefront 2 Battle of Geonosis, but there's like there was a deleted scene with like clones that just had regular like Return of the Jedi style speeder bikes, but they're white, and they were throwing grenades or thermal detonators at, was it a Hailfire droid? It was some large droid. But this is a good one too. Ranked Clones 4-pack, Droidica, Mace, Yoda, Ki-Adi. Vehicles, Geonosian Starfighter, Geonosian Sonic Cannon, Forward Command Center, Dwarf Spider Droid, Snail Droid. That's a good one too. The Homing Spider Droid, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, anything to help build out that battle. Seriously, just rerun the ATTE. That's where I'm at. More clone leadership? I agree. I like Clone Trooper. Clone Trooper! I'm in full support of all PT in Clone Wars. Hell yeah, man. Me too. That's what we're all about on Blitz Transmissions, you know? And a lot of it's cooler than guy in clothes, in my opinion. You know, some of you guys out there, you guys prefer to get guy in clothes, you know? That's just not my cup of tea. It's just not what I want. Clone Commandos would be cool. It did shout out Clone Commando won the Vintage Collection Galactic Conquest this year. That was a really fun fan poll to put on. Battlefront 2004 Jet Trooper. That's a cool one too. I'll absolutely take that one as well. But I mean, beyond that though, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about? Anything else you guys want to cover? Like San Diego Comic-Con reveals, you know, I like guy in clothes. Lobot. If we build the collector base, the weirdos will come? No. I don't believe in that. But, yeah, I think, honestly, guys, I think that that was what I wanted to say. Really, I got a lot of my big talking points out, and kind of we did this kind of out of order. I was going to save a lot of my conversation, but I know my buddy Star Wars and Brews here. I saw he was pretty upset about the reveals from SDCC, and I was very curious to hear why he felt so strongly. I heard the SDCC reveals exclusives sold out fast. Yes, last I heard, the Vintage Collection Anakin Adventures 2-pack was still available on the sales floor, but I heard it sold out on the Saturday, the Black Series Clone Wars ATRT. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Did you like SDCC last year or this year more? I have to say last year, because they revealed the Republic gunship. So I have to say last year. That's like, I feel like that's my automatic response. I seriously don't think anything will ever top the gunship for me. Yeah. Just keeping a lookout here, because I think we're going to start winding down the stream here. This was a lot of... I was having a pity party. I rubbed some dirt on it, and now I'm good to go. Yeah, man. That's the thing, man. I really... It makes me sad when I see other collectors, whether it be, content creators or just people in the community. It really makes me upset to see when people are feeling so frustrated and not bummed out, but what's the word? Downtrodden. When people are feeling so downtrodden on the collecting hobby, I feel like it really bums me out. It really does. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see my fellow collectors feel that way. And that's going to be a big topic of conversation tomorrow on Sarlacc Digest Toy Chest. That's going to be something we really spend a lot of time talking about. Do you think we will get the Rebels TIE fighter that Sabine and Ezra stole and painted for a HasLab? I feel like they could do that not as a HasLab. I feel like they could just do that how they've done the Kenner X-Wing or the Vader's TIE Advanced. I don't really know how good the current Vintage Collection TIE Fighter is, but I assume it's not horrible, right? TVC revealed more than Jazzwares. That's true. I don't think Jazzwares revealed anything, did they? If they did, it wasn't a lot. I didn't see anybody post about it. But yeah, so ultimately, guys, I think that sometimes we get a little did you hear about the... Yes, I did hear about the Rebels 3-pack. My prediction is going to be a 3-pack of Rebels, Rex, Wolf, and Gregor. That's my prediction. Jazzwares. They make Micro Galaxy Squadron. It's a great line. It's all the ships that you see behind me are from that line. Shout out Cube Squadron. It's going to be an awesome supplement to your Micro Galaxy Squadron collection, and they just got their Kickstarter funded. So very, very excited about that. I think it's hardest for those who host sites, run pages, or provide content. Yeah, and I can understand it wearing you out, but you have to remain clear-minded, There's going to be people that are trying to tear you down all the time, and it's very important to not give those people brain space, because, I deal with it every day. Whether it's here, whether it's at work, whether it's in your personal life, there's always people around that are going to try and tear you down and have malicious intents. And it's up to you to be the light in the room and to not give in to that nonsense, Yeah. Yes, support Cube Squadron. Go check them out on Kickstarter. They're kicking it off, kickstarting it in September. I don't think they've missed the chance. As long as they haven't completed the Bad Batch, I don't think they've missed the chance. But this is part of it too. I think that it's the gatekeeping. It's the know-it-all. It's a very know-it-all mentality that people have about collecting, and I don't think that that's a good way to generate conversation. Telling people, well, when everything you say is I'm right and you're wrong and here's why, when that's how you talk about everything, you just come off very pretentious, and it's not. Yeah, you're not supposed to be smart enough to detect passive-aggressive behavior. Yeah, but and you're not allowed to acknowledge it either. You're not allowed to acknowledge passive aggressive behavior. But yeah, I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, this hobby is supposed to be about what you want as a collector. It's supposed to be about you cater your collection to what you want. And if the new things aren't coming out that you want, then maybe look to third party. Maybe look to 3D printing. Maybe look to customs. Maybe look to Kickstarter projects. Maybe look to other things that could supplement that and fill that gap in your collection. You know? Like, okay, cool, bro. Like, nice. Have a good day, I guess. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I feel sorry that you're so upset. You know, I feel like that's what I would say. I feel sorry that you're so upset about the San Diego Comic-Con reveals. I feel like that's such a shame when I see people that are so angry, you know? But yeah, so I think I'm gonna wind down the stream here, guys, because I gotta be up early for work. So this was a fun, like, you know, discussion stream. You know, I thought this was good good discussion. Guys, we are entering a very interesting era of Star Wars collecting, and for really just, you know, collecting in general. I think that this next 12 to 18 months is going to be very interesting for the collecting hobby. I'm interested to see, you know, if people tap out, if new people come in, but ultimately I do think that it's for people like me who are representing the prequel generation, the Clone Wars generation. I think it's important for us to respect a new era. The final order. I think it's important for us to acknowledge. There it is right there. He's got it now. I think it's important for us to acknowledge, you know, things are changing. And I think that things need to change. If things, it's adapt or die. You know what I mean? And that's what's important. Bolts, thank you so much for watching. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in for these streams. Blitz Barracks is just a fun one to do. I just enjoy this stream here. You know what I mean? Yeah, new era is what they kept saying in the interviews. It's adapt or die. They have to change the game. We can't keep doing the same sorry things that we've been doing for the last 50 years. You know, I get it's fun for the people who have been in the game. And again, that's where it comes to like gatekeeping. Like, it's fun to keep reiterating the same things over and over again, but you know, have a great night all. Looking forward to the future. High hopes for Starfighter. Yeah, I'm not tapping out. More excited for Clone Wars and prequel stuff. TVC and Black Series. I have faith. Finally got Satil Shan. There we go. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. And we shall have peace. But anyway, guys, I could sit here all night and yap with you guys, but I really got to go to bed because I was up way too late last night. And I only slept like 3 hours because I was working on After Action Figure Report. Shout out to my editor-in-chief, Infinity 3D Collectibles. And I was working on, you know, thumbnails for this and trying to come up with generate the discussion topic for this. I hope it was good. I hope this was good talk. I you know, sometimes with these conversations that are a little more off the cuff, I don't have notes off to the side or anything, and it kind of just goes and goes and goes. So I hope you guys did enjoy this. I hope we had some good conversation here. But like I said, I got to be up for work in the morning. The grind don't stop. Catch us tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the Sarlacc Digest YouTube channel for Sarlacc Digest Toy Chest. We will be having a much more in-depth, probably much more high-intensity conversation. Yeah. Taps is playing. Time to hit the rack. Yes, hashtag do the dwarf. I'll see what Moocher has to say about that one tomorrow night. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the stream. We got awesome stuff coming out for Blitz Transmissions. I'm finally starting to get, you know, the wedding's over, the honeymoon's over. Time to start getting into some videos here. So you guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys soon. And of course, as always, may the Force be with you.
Breaking off. All units, fire at will. 1-2, pick your target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. You've got to hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm here.